Well, hello, my dear friends, and welcome back. So in this video, we're going to start a new algorithm with ChatGPT. What is that, you might ask? Logistic regression algorithm. All right, so which data set will we use? Well, my friends, we will continue to work with the most well-known data sets in the world so that we can understand what we're doing just that much better. So in this context, we're going to examine the logistic regression algorithm by using the Titanic dataset. So I want to get into it here. I'm sure you're familiar with it. So my friends, we have our ChatGPT page over here on the left. Our notebooks are over here on the right. We're going to continue to work in the same way. You see how efficient it is. So we're going to work with this data set. But where do we get it from? In which libraries will we find it? Well, why don't we just ask ChatGPT? So here I'm going to ask this. From which Python library can I get the Titanic dataset under study in data science? And yeah, the question's ready, so I'm going to send the message, and here we have some answers. All right, so first off, it says, yeah, it's famous for the Titanic dataset, and it started offering all the options. I want to wait for it to finish, though. So now we can start our investigation. So it first says that Titanic dataset is used in classification problems. And it begins to explain the ways to reach this dataset one by one. First, it says that we should use the Seaborn library, and the Titanic dataset is one of the datasets built into the Seaborn library. So you can see below, it tells us how to import it, and we can perform this operation with a load dataset function. But I want to continue on. And of course, we can use the pandas library. But before we can use this library, we're going to need to download the file to our computer first. We'll see how to install it again, and it appears in the code. And then, dear friends, the third option is the scikit-learn library. Okay, so this library is a popular machine learning library in Python. I think everybody knows it. So now that you know this context, it's going to provide us with some sample data sets, including the Titanic data set, and we can use the fetch open ML operation to import into these data sets. So see, again, the install codes are here. And if you do happen to have Kaggle API installed in your notebook, it's Titanic. You can download the data set directly from Kaggle. But you do have to register on the Kaggle site and participate in the Titanic contest. Okay, so have a look. You can use the code below to download the data set. Okay, so now we can choose one of them. I'm going to select the first option, so I will import the data set with the Seaborn library. Yeah, so now I can transfer this information directly into our notebook, but I will not do this for now. I want to continue like this. I want to data science work with the Titanic data set. Which libraries do I need? How can I import these libraries? All right, so let's see what happens when we send this message. And yeah, the most used libraries are starting to arrive. So why don't we just wait for it to finish? Then we'll have a look. All right, let's see what it says. So these are the libraries we all know, right? If you pay attention, it explains each library separately and then tells you how to import it. Now, since we already know what libraries are used for, we're not going to necessarily have to read the descriptions. I'll just say their names. So first of all, we've got the import codes of the pandas library. Secondly, NumPy library. Visualization library comes in third place, matplotlib. And then the next one is a Seaborn library, which is often used as a visualization library. Then comes sklearn. However, I will not take this part since I will use sklearn in the machine learning section. All right, so my friends, here we have the Jupyter Notebook installation process, but we don't care about that either, do we? So yeah, we can now transfer them to our notebooks like this, and I'll first open a cell in Markdown format on the right and just write in importing the libraries. Okay, so let's run the code. So we can quickly copy the codes we will import. And look, guys, I'm taking them from the left side and pasting them in the right in order. All right, so what did I say earlier? We'd get the first 4. Yeah, so that's enough for right now. Okay, so we can run the codes. Okay, guys, now it's time to load the data set. So see here, I'm opening a cell in Markdown format again and writing loading the data set in it. And let's run the code. All right, so now I will get the code for the loading. All right, guys, so I won't retake the whole code here since we already imported the Seaborn library. I just want to take the code from below. Now, I wonder, did you notice it puts the data set in a variable named Titanic DF? Okay, so now I'm getting this code and I'm just going to paste it in on the right and we can run it now. All right, my friends, let's now examine the first 5 lines of the data set. So we know how this happens because we've worked on this before, but now I want to save a little time just by asking ChatGPT. I'm going to write the code directly. And look at this, my friends. I'm writing the variable's name and applying the head method. So I write 5 in the method bracket, and it would still return 5 lines by default, but I wrote it to draw attention to the fact that we can write the number if we want to here. Okay, so we can run the code now and check it out. The data set comes in directly in data frame format. So we see the variables. And since we've made the notebook page a little smaller, we cannot see all the variables on one page, but we can see the others by scrolling. Okay. So my friends, we're going to cover these variables next time in the next video. So I want to wrap it up here and I'll see you then.